So you are the one in the group who like went the other direction. You're
Trying to, yeah,
you're
definitely.
You're like, oh, I can just imagine. Because I remember, I told my parents. Because those gloves, they're bright yellow. You can't hide that shit.
Yeah,
right?
no, not at all.
So I'd have a backpack, and they'd fit kind of in that big backpack.
Mm-hmm.
But that little blue backpack, that's a Captain America backpack, and I'd have this thing on me all the time, because I was like, that's me. I'm Steve Rogers. I'm Captain America. And I'd walk and I'd leave, and it's always like a routine schedule. And I would just say, I'm going to work out, and they'd go, "Are you fighting?" That was the exact. I go,
No, Mom.
I go, "No, I'm just working out." And they're like, "Okay," and that lasted for a little bit. And I remember, and it wasn't anything hard, and it wasn't anything big, but it was just like sometimes you slip just a little,
Yeah.
and you get like
scrapes.
or like it's like a perfect rash right here from a glove,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I remember I had that. And I walked in, and I'm like, "Hey, guys." And they go, "Oh, my God." They're like, "You lied to us? You're fighting?" They go, "You need some help." And they, like, started going crazy. I'm like, "I'm not." They go, "You need to talk to, like, a therapist. You're probably so angry." And I'm like, none of that's true. I'm like, it's just this addicting, like, thing. And I try to explain the jiu-jitsu.
You can't, man. You just can't. You can try explaining it, but
they won't get it no matter how much you try either.
Exactly.
I'm like, there's no way. And I'm like, and you have to gauge, your limits and this and that.
Right.
Because another thing I notice is, like, I can learn these things, and I can spar, and I can be safe myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to gauge what I'm doing. And in certain scenarios, I can't. So, like, when my ego starts to talk, is because I'm like, listen, you were like, so if I give you like 40%, then you're gonna give me 45, 50, right? And then you're like, oh, okay. And then you start to.
You kick just a little bit harder. He starts kicking a little bit harder. You throw a little harder punch, and then it just kind of keeps going.
And if that other person does not have a gauge that's similar to your gauge,
and they have a big ego,
it's like you can have disaster.
Yes.
And I remember being there, and there's a thing where it's not that I think I can kick your ass. I also, we'll get back to this question in my head, but it's not that, like, I'm better than you, I'm this and that. It's just that this ego starts to talk like, oh, you think, like, and then all this stuff just kind of builds up. But so I noticed that I have to dial mine back.
Right.
I have to, like, and that control comes from practice and being with good sparring partners who were like, hey, dial it down.
Seeing it firsthand from our coaches, like, they're very good at, like,
yeah, they could murder you.
Yeah.
They're like, you're like, hey, coach, you could kill me.